YouTube, what's going on, guys? Lego PC, aka Jimbo here, bringing you guys another review, one I have been talking about for a long time, and I figured it's probably time for me to just sit down, grab a beer, hang out, make it probably a quick review. I think we're going to do a double review today. So first things first, thank you to all my new subscribers. Unbelievable, guys. The last video I posted, I think we're at 75, and all of a sudden now it's creeping up to 100. Next video is probably going to be a giveaway video, so we'll talk about that furthermore. Secondly, you guys probably wondering where was your video last week. I actually wrote up a vlog talking about how I was going to be gone all week. I had a nice vlog, it was all recorded, still sitting on my camera. Unfortunately, it was corrupted when I got to my computer, so you guys never saw it. My bad on that. What are you going to do, you know? So it was a little speech about how I was going to my bachelor party last week. I was gone. I uploaded a couple videos. I was going to upload another Jim Beam video as part of my ride home from our little road trip. So real fun. I had a blast. I had an absolute blast. I hung out in Nashville for those who were interested. We checked out all the bars down there, and the cool thing is I've converted two of my friends that we went down with to vapors. So I got a buddy who's still on Halo e-cigs, and my other guys that got an iTaste SVD. He's looking to upgrade into drippers, so we were hanging out, talking vape. We were vaping at the bars. Nobody gives us a problem. Even if you couldn't smoke at some of the bars, they still let us vape there, which was fucking awesome. Let me just say that right now. So that was very cool. You couldn't smoke in some of the bars. They would say smoking only on the patio or whatever. You could vape, and they wouldn't say a damn thing. So, you know, you just kind of like inch into it. You vape a little bit, or, you know, you look at the waitress and be like, you know, is it cool? And they'd just be like, yeah, go ahead. So it was really, really cool. Had a blast. Us vapors had a good time. I was going to record a video of us vaping in the car, but unfortunately with Halo and an iTaste with the Kangaroo Pro Tank, you weren't going to see clouds, so it's all good. We had a lot of fun. But back to the point of what we're going to do today. We're going to talk about the IPV2. Now, this has been a review long coming. And the reason I didn't put it out right away is because I was one of the first people to put one of the Canamod reviews out. And I made the rash decision just to go ahead and put it out right away. I hadn't played with it for more than a week and just decided it was time to put it out. And of course, all these problems happened afterwards. So I didn't want to do that this time. I wanted to sit down and play with the device. I've had it since the beginning of July. And I wanted to make sure that I got the full take on what this device was going to do. My opinions and thoughts, if there's any problems on it. Etc. Just want to make sure it was good for you guys before I put out a review. I just really wanted to play with it. So, God, I've just got a mess here. I have not been in the vape layer much at all. I've been so busy. We're going to get our marriage license tomorrow, so it's just there's just tons of stuff going on. I'm just an FYI, so you guys are aware now. I did talk about in the video how I have a limited amount of mech mods coming, which is true. I'm actually sticking to the box mods. I've pre-ordered the Sigelli 100 watt, and I've also pre-ordered the T8 from Cloudpore, I think it's called. I'm in a group buying that too. So you're going to see a lot of box mods and RDAs. So I've got a 454 big block I bought today, a Vulcan, and Kryptonite or something that's like that. It's called something like that. Well, you know, we'll get it, we'll build it, we'll talk about it. I still got the Veritas, which will be the second review today. You will see about the Veritas. But anyways, sorry, I just wanted to rant, talk a little bit. IPV2. So I'm not going to open it up for you. I'm going to go ahead and give you my pros and cons on it right away. Pros, works perfectly. I mean, I've had no problems with it. The buttons are clicky. I think it's way better than the Cana buttons. Solid 26 watts I'm at right now on my Orchid, of course. I mean, no issues with it. I USB charge it only. I haven't had any problems with that. I've actually got some batteries ready to go for my next box mod that comes in. I like to keep my box mod batteries separate, so I've had no issues on that. No issues with changing wattage. I know we had Phil Basardo who talked about how bad his version was, and we're going to zoom up here. You're going to see no scratches on the screen. The screen is a little scuffed up. I have dropped this guy multiple times, and I'm usually very good about not dropping stuff, but this guy has dropped multiple times. The finish is fine, no fingerprints, looks good. The touch sensor on the top there. You can see the bottom is made for venting right there, and there is your USB. Now a lot of people aren't a fan about this, so what I actually do is I have a jar, basically workout protein powder, and what I do is when it's plugged into the wall, I have it sit on top of it like that so the USB hangs over the edge, and I have no problems. I mean, I could do that right here, for example, just set it and plug it in from underneath. Yeah, it's not convenient, but it is what it is. So the condition is great. That's a great pro. Another pro, the inside, which I'm not going to take apart. Like I said, I have not unscrewed this since I put the battery in, but I've heard horror nightmares about the screws. I do have extras. I don't plan on going through them. So my other pro would be the fact that once you open this inside, if you want to see inside, there's about 300 other videos on this and show you what the inside looks like. All it shows is a battery and black covering all the way around. It's very cleanly done. No issues with that whatsoever. I think it's very nicely cleaned. Very easy to use. The unlock feature is very nice. You just press the two buttons right here. Unlock. We are now unlocked. Okay? Very simple. Turn the touch sensor off. Maybe. Touch is now off. Alright, so very simple. Very easy. There's really no hassle with it, and apparently the postman's here because my dog's barking. You can come hang out. You can come hang out. Listen to some music and talking. Lay down by daddy. Good girl. So, those are my pros. Now there are a few cons. Oh, another pro. Adjustable 510. It has a brass screw on the top in which you can just screw down and unscrew based on what your eddy needs are. Though in my opinion, you should not be flush mounting on a box mod anyways. I think that's dumb. You don't. It doesn't need to look cool flush mount on your box mod. Just my opinion. I don't have my Hannah here, so I can't really compare size. Here's my S5. You can see it's quite a bit smaller than my phone, so which is very cool. Even with the Addy on top, it's without the drip tip, it would be smaller. So size-wise, it's awesome. It's very convenient. It's only a little bit bigger than my Hannah height-wise, but it is very, very slim. Very slim. Now the cons. Pretty basic cons. A lot of easy fixes if they put out the IPV3 and update it with those features. Matt talked about this in Suck My Mod. The battery door cover. It sticks out a little bit. You can see it right there. Now I can't see it because all I see is REC, but you know, it sticks out right there. And if you have juice leaking, like for example, this tank leaks when I take it from, you know, a cool environment to outside where it's humid. I just had that today on the ride home. It can leak inside the door. Hasn't happened to me, however, I could definitely see it happening. Oh, I love Oktoberfest. The screws. I would prefer any box mod to have magnets, but if you're going to do screws, at least do solid, good sized chunk screws. Excuse me, screws. These are little pieces of shit that'll strip instantly. I had to back it out like 6 times to make sure it got in there properly, so a little bit of pain in the ass. The touch sensor, it's a gimmick. It doesn't. I've played with it. I didn't like it personally. That's awkward to me. That's me shoving the mod into my pinky, which is not comfortable at all whatsoever. It's just not comfortable to me. Maybe if you had really long fingers, might be more enjoyable. Let's take a vape real quick. Let's turn it up. I'm vaping 26 watts all day. 31 watts. Whew. There's some vapor. Another negative to me, now this is my opinion, is I think any 50 watt box mod and above should have 2 18650s. The reason I'm actually ordering more box mods is because one 18650 doesn't cut it. If I was using this device with a dripper, which I do, I put the Magma on it or the Veritas quite often because they hold a lot of juice, is the fact that that battery is not going to last very long. Unfortunately, at 50 watts, that battery's going to get you a couple hours of vape time and you're going to need to recharge it. And like any mech mod, excuse me, the battery voltage drops, so you're using less of the amperage, whereas this is constantly pumping out those 20 to 30 amps. I think it's 20 amp max. 50 watts down to 7 watts, I believe, down to a 0.2 resistance. There's no need to use a 0.2 resistance. I'm using a 0.9, I believe, right now. 0.9. That's as low as I like to go on my box mods. You know, usually I'm aiming for 1 and I'll hit 0.9, it's close enough. Negatives, I think that's about it for the negatives. But the device, it vapes great. I mean, I bought the device for $75, and most authentic mech mods are $150, $200, $250. I mean, when you're comparing the two, it's kind of a no-brainer. Now, Basardo beat me to it the other day. He just had to talk about the IPV2, and this is kind of what was in my vlog that was taken out. And the reason you're going to see a lot of box mods flood the system right now, or the market, is the word I'm looking for, I can't speak English, is the fact that they're safer. They truly are. He talked about how somebody doesn't want to use mechs anymore after Fate Blast. The truth is, with mechs, there's that chance. There always is. There always will be. With box mods, there might be that chance, but that chance is so minuscule that there almost isn't one. It's 1 in a million that you're going to have an incident where the box mod's going to explode or something, you know, crazy is going to happen. So with the box mod, yeah, you don't probably get as much power, at least for right now. You're only maxed out at 50 watts. However, I can build a nice, safe, easy coil on 30 gauge or 28 gauge or whatever I have laying around. I can put it at 1.5 ohms, and I can still get that same vape. And I'm able to alter that vape. I don't need to build a new coil to alter that vape. I can drop it down to 20 watts and have a cooler vape, or I can pump it up to 31 watts. And have a nice warm vape, which is delicious, by the way. I am vaping Nebula mixed with Sweet Dreams. We'll talk about it at the end of the video because we're going to do a little mini review real quick. So, pros and cons. You've seen the box, the touch sensor. It works. It's great. The battery, the interesting battery part right here is when you press the button, you're going to see the battery drops, because that's how hard the battery is hitting right now. So once you get down to about a quarter of battery life down there, you're going to see that battery's dropped, almost empty. That's how much of the battery it's using. That's usually a good sign for me that it's almost time for a charge. I don't always use 31 watts, so it usually lasts longer, but at 24 to 25 watts, this will last me all day with absolutely no problem. To me, that means the battery life's good. It should last me all day. I should not have to worry about charging it at work. Something to note is when I first bought it, I could go 2 to 3 days without charging the device. Now, again, when you keep running that battery so low, it's not going to hold as good of a charge. You're going to keep wearing out that battery. That's where I think mech mods come into play a little bit better than box mods. I think box mods run these batteries too low, in my opinion. They hit their save point, and I feel like that's below what I usually run my save point is on my mech mod. My mech mod, if it hit 3.7 volts, I'm taking it out because it's vaping like crap. Or at that point, we're vaping at very low wattage. Whereas I believe this is going much lower than 3.7 volts, in my opinion. Now, whether that's a fact or not, I don't know. But in my opinion, and that's why you see the battery life on these batteries in particular drop off quite a bit. Overall, for $75, $80, wherever you can get this for right now. I know it was originally, when they first came out, like $129. I'm going to bet they're dropped by now. If not, they will drop once the new about 100 watt mods hit in September. I guess it is September 2nd. You'll see that price drop dramatically. Bad news for box mod makers, for you guys out there, it's kind of disappointing because you guys are kind of going to get pushed out of the market for right now. I mean, it is what it is. I was going to buy a Cujo, but then with all these, or even a Duke, but there's just, why would I buy a Duke when I could buy this? You know, I mean, that's the downside to it. overall, you can't beat the device. It vapes. I mean, it does what it's supposed to. And the vape's great. God, that's a hot vape. Woo! Well, let's drop that down. That's better. The good news is they're getting better. This isn't perfect, by no means, but they're getting better. And we saw how the problems we had with the Canamod. The one problem I have had with this device, so buyer beware, is much like the Canamod, my Magma had issues where it was reading the ohms differently from what it's supposed to be. I fixed that issue. It's very easy to fix. On the Canamod, you did not have adjustable 510, which means you had to make sure your Addy did not screw down too tightly. That's when we heard some of the horror stories about the wiring burning up on the inside and whatnot. This device allows you to adjust the 510. So what I did is I took the 510, I screwed it all the way down. Because again, I don't care whether it sits flush or not. If it's got a gap that big, then we have problems. But we're talking about minuscule millimeters here. So I screwed the 510 pin all the way down and didn't have a problem after that. It read the Magma perfectly. It's read every Addy I've thrown on it with absolutely no problem. So overall, the device is a great device, in my opinion. In my opinion, if you can get this device for under $90, and you're looking for a box mod for a nice 50 watts, slip this into your pocket all day with no issues, which is what I do. I throw it in my office, set it on the desk, and I can carry it with me if I want to. I put it in my back pocket, nobody knows I have it on me. You can't beat it. It gets 2 thumbs up. Now, again, once these 100-watt box mods come out, will that drop down? Yeah, absolutely. Depending on how the Sigelli looks. The Sigelli 50 watt looks really, really nice. So I'm expecting big things from them. Pioneer for You is kind of a brand that we haven't really seen that much of. So they can only get better, is my assumption. So that's my take on the IPV2. Now, what am I vaping? I'm vaping in my Orchid. I'm vaping Cloud9. Cloud9 Vapor. You guys probably think I freaking own stock in this place by how much I talk about them, but these girls are so awesome to me that I had to order from them. Plus they're local, which I love. So they've got 3 new flavors. One I can't tell you about because it says new for September and I haven't vaped it yet because I want it to steep. So I can't tell you about this one yet. We'll talk about that one in a future video. However, we've got Sweet Dreams and Nebula. Now, the interesting part about this is you would think I'd hate Nebula because Nebula is basically like has like a sweet, fruity taste and then has like a peach aftertaste, which is real tart to me, and I'm not a big fan of that flavor. However, Sweet Dreams by itself is a very sugary, it's sweet sponge sugar with, I believe it's a melon that's in there, and you can taste it absolutely 100%. But what I've noticed is if you mix the two together, they're absolutely balls to the wall fantastic. So what I did is I went through my first 12 milligram of Nebula, went about down to there and filled it up with Sweet Dreams, shake it up. Freaking awesome. Now you get, instead of get that tart aftertaste, now you get the sweet sugar aftertaste, which is freaking awesome. I absolutely love it. Spot on. This stuff is awesome. It's affordable. It's $7.99 for a 15 mil, I believe, offhand. And they're always running 30% off coupon codes. So I picked up a whole stack over here for like 40 bucks. So you can't complain. This stuff is really, really good. Downside, it does not go well with Creamy Dark from Lang & Kugels because I tried that last night and it did not go smooth. It's just so good, that sugar aftertaste. Now, I don't usually like sweet things, but that sugar aftertaste is fantastic. Fantastic. Well, we didn't jump up and close. We didn't have to. The IPV2, you guys saw it. You've seen a million reviews on it. You got my take finally on it. That's all I got for you guys. Stay tuned, double feature today. I will be talking about the Veritas. We'll break it down. I'll show you how I built it. And we'll vape on it. We'll see you soon. Peace.